Hi, you're listening to What's New Today, a kids and family podcast about current events shaping our world. This is your host Sangeeta from India, and in this episode, I'm joined by three very cheerful faces.
Hello, I am Smyan Shetty. I am in 4th standard. I live in Mumbai.
Hello everyone, my name is Adya Singh. I study in class 8 and I study in Army Public School, Aknoor in Jammu.
I am Dhruv. I am 9 years old. I go to Lakshmipat Singhani Academy and I live in Kolkata.
Welcome, Smyan, Adya, and Dhruv. It's wonderful to have all of you back on this podcast channel. The regular listeners of What's New Today will know that we take one news story in every episode and we chat about it. And before I do the podcast recording, I share details of that news story with the children and they do their own research and reading about the news story. But today's episode is different. It's modeled on the 20 questions game. None of them knows anything about what the news story is. Instead, I'm going to give them the first two lines of the news story. It's a real life news story. They need to decipher what the news story is. And to decipher that, they can ask me questions and they can ask me unlimited number of questions. So, are you all ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the story in 2 sentences. All dog owners in a city in Italy, the name of the city is Bolzano, the dog owners in this city have to pay 65 euros to the city corporation.
Okay.
This is to test the dog's DNA. I'm going to leave the story here and I'm going to let you all figure out what the rest of the story is.
Is this a continuous one or is it a one-time payment?
One-time payment. They just have to pay 65 euros once to get the dog's DNA tested.
I think that the government is testing the dog's DNA to check if the dog has rabies.
What is rabies?
Or any other like dog-caused disease or animal-caused disease.
But Dhruv, think about it. I just told Adya that it is a one-time thing. It's not a recurring thing. But because if the government wants to test if a dog has a disease, it can get a disease 1 month later also, right?
Yeah.
So is it something to do with the breed the dog is, like if it's like illegally breeded or something?
An illegally bred dog. I don't know enough about illegal breeding in dogs. No, it has nothing to do with illegal breeding of dogs.
Are they testing the DNA to research something special or to do an experiment?
Great question. The DNA that they're going to collect is not of any scientific importance. It's not going to increase the scientific knowledge the world has about the dog.
Oh, I have an idea. This might be quite far out, but I have an idea. What if the government is selling the DNA to get more money?
Such brilliant, wild ideas you all get in this today's day and age, right? Where all the data that we have, we need to maintain some level of privacy in it. I think you're reading too much about it. No, but anyway, the news story that I'm talking about, it does not contain any such ideas.
Yeah, okay, got it.
I'll give you a small hint.
Yeah, give a hint, please.
This has something to do with the country's or the city's cleanliness.
Thanks for the hint. I think they're testing the dog's DNA to see if the dog likes a bath or not.
Dog likes to take a bath.
Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with the.
It completely fits the description, though. It completely fits the description.
Except I don't know yet if a dog's DNA is indicative of its bathing preferences.
It might be. I'm not sure.
Unfortunately, no. This news story has nothing to do with dogs bathing. It's a little bit more mundane, but you're kind of on the right track. So, dogs wake up and sometimes once in a week or twice in a week, people give them a bath. But there is something the dog has to do a little bit more frequently. That's a hint I'm giving.
Is it related to using the bathroom?
It has something to do with that, yes. But I won't give away more.
Yes. How long it takes for it to do it?
No, it's not to do with how long it takes. But think about what happens when a dog does
Or
it.
how big it is.
So it is related to a dog's cleanliness.
It is not related to the dog's cleanliness. Great questions, Smyan. It is related to the city's cleanliness.
It makes sure that the dogs don't on the street.
Where do dogs do it? Otherwise,
Some dogs are potty trained, so
okay, they may be potty trained, but what do you think? Where do you
yeah.
think dog owners take them?
Usually dog owners take them to like the park,
Yeah, they might
like
take
a
them to
dog
the
park or
park.
maybe the street.
Yes, maybe the street. But then what is a dog owner supposed to do?
The dog owner is supposed to clean up after the dog.
Yes, now link the DNA of the dog and the point that Dhruv just made. Let's see if we can arrive at the new story.
Okay, I got what like Dhruv was saying, but I didn't get where the DNA fits.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, I agree. Stretch your mind a little bit. If you all don't get it, I'll give one more hint.
No idea.
None? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Okay. Most cities don't really like a dog poop lying on its streets, right? That's why they suggest that the dog owners
Yeah.
have to clean up after them. So if a dog owner doesn't clean up, what do you do?
So did the scientists somehow make the dog's DNA to not poop on streets?
But
Well,
wait, here's the thing. Wait, they're just taking one small sample, so it can't affect the entire dog.
yeah. So Smyan, the point is you're testing the dog's DNA. You're not treating the dog. So now link the 2 points I made. Okay. When a dog
Okay.
poops on the street and the dog cleaner doesn't clean up after it,
Hmm.
what does a city corporation or that locality's government do?
Okay, so they're collecting the DNA samples, and when something happens and someone doesn't clean up, they match the samples in the
Ah.
person.
Exactly right.
Oh yeah.
And since no two dogs' DNA is the same, they will get the required dog and then they can go and talk to the owner.
Yeah, in this case, they're not just going to talk to the owner, they're going to levy a penalty of anywhere between, I think, 250 to 900 euros fine. So if a dog owner has not cleaned up after the dog's poop, right, and they go away from that place, you don't know which dog has left that poop on the road, right? So how do you track? How do you find who's done it? So they are going after the dog owners by getting all dogs' DNA tested and kept in the database beforehand. It's in one tiny town in Italy, so it's not like all of Italy has this rule. But when I read this story, I found it hilarious.
How do they make sure that all the dogs in the city are tested?
Excellent question. So this was a rule. So they said if you're a dog owner, you should get all your dogs tested, and they gave December 31st, 2023 as the deadline. However, but just like Adya said, I think out of some 200 or 1,000 dogs that are registered in that city, only some 5,000 dogs have so far been tested. So they're now going after all the other owners and telling them, please pay $65 and get your dog's DNA tested. It's a
65
rule. They'll
euros.
have to enforce it.
65 euros, not
Sorry,
65 euros.
sorry,
I
65.
know a very interesting fact about DNA. Did you know that half of a human's DNA is the same as a banana?
Yeah, and humans share more DNA cells with cats than we do with dogs.
And the DNA of all humans is 99.99% the same.
So Dhruv, Adya, Smyan and I will be 99.99% the same.
Yes.
Very interesting. What do you think of this idea? About this policy?
I think it's a good idea.
It's a bit of a mixture between far-fetched and a good, like with good intentions, but very far-fetched. Yeah,
And
but
you-
wouldn't it be better to get CCTV cameras installed instead?
Yeah, much less effort.
Wonderful. So we'll pass on the idea of the CCTV camera to the governor of Bolzano in Italy as suggestions from Adya, Smyan and Dhruv. Here comes our favorite quiz time. First question. The dog owners in a city in Italy have to pay 65 euros. What is this for?
For getting their dog's DNA tested.
Second question. What kind of a crime are dog owners going to be penalized based on the dog's DNA that they're going to test?
If the dog poops on the street and the dog owner doesn't clean up after the dog, the city government will match it with match the DNA in the database with the sample from the street, and the dog owner will be charged a penalty from anywhere between 250 euros to 900 euros.
Third and the final question. How many of the dog owners in this city have so far registered their dog's DNA, got it tested and registered? Would you say it's
In
very
this,
high or very low?
out of the 200,000 dogs there are in the country, only 5,000 dogs have been registered.
Thank you so much. It's been a brilliant conversation with the three of you, deducing our news stories this way.
This was
I think
fun.
this was more fun. Yeah, this was fun.
This is more fun than the other podcasts.
Listeners, did you enjoy this episode? If you did and you would like to support Team What's New Today in our endeavor to bring high quality episodes to kids and families around the world, you could leave your donations for Team What's New Today by clicking on the Support Our Show link in the show notes below. And in the meanwhile, if you're looking for one or two episodes to listen to from What's New Today, here are 3 recommendations from each of my co-hosts.
I especially enjoyed the one in which you talk about the video game characters and the girl called Maddie who researched like a lot of games. And I completely agree with that co-host. Like her parents allowed her to play 50 games.
That was your main takeaway?
No, that was a shocking thing, but I really liked the episode.
You really did. Okay, this was an episode about how characters in video games are primarily male, and it took one girl from the United States, Maddie, and it's a real life story, and how she championed for female characters in video games to also have a place of prominence.
I liked the one with the 8-year-old podcaster. It was about space and the ISS. I think his name was Keshav.
Yes, his name was Keshav.
And I really liked that part where Hubert talked about you could just play headball easily, and you can even just float.
Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that episode. It's about the International Space Station. So, if any of you love space and if you'd like to know what kind of games you could possibly play sitting inside ISS, or what would happen if you kicked a ball off the surface of the moon, that's a wonderful episode for you all to listen to.
I like the Fat Bear Week. That I think was the best so far. I love how the story was told from the bear's perspective, not from a watcher's perspective.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful episode. It's about an event that is held in Alaska every year where people can watch the bears before they go into hibernation. So this is a story from the perspective of a bear and what it does as
The
it
bear's name was
gets
Sammy.
ready.
The bear's name was Sammy.
Yeah, the bear's name was Sammy. I'm glad you like that. So if you'd like to listen to the episodes that our co-hosts have recommended, just scroll right down to the show notes and you'll find links to all of them there. Thank you once again, Dhruv, especially for having joined this recording without having had your dinner. So I'm feeling a little guilty. So why don't you run
All
off and catch some food?
That's alright. Yeah.
It's all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Smyan. Thank you, Adya.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks for
Thanks
listening.
for listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.